kind of grew up around politics. My parents weren't necessarily really engaged, but they were very interested. And my mom had grown up really admiring Robert Kennedy, and my dad was on the polar opposite of this sphere. He would have gladly explained to you in excruciating detail why Richard Nixon really didn't get a fair shake. And I observed this environment and grew up, decided I wanted to be president when I was in high school. So I ran a write-in campaign against Al Gore and George W. Bush in my high school, and I won. That would be more impressive had there been more than 7 people in my graduating class. So then I went to college and I studied computer science, which incidentally is not the same as political science. And I became really apathetic to what was happening in the political sphere. And I think Mr. Plato would be interested to know it's not just evil men, it's evil women too. I am looking at you, Secretary DeVos. So then, who remembers this? Yeah. I watched the 2016 presidential election unfold, and I was terrified. I mean, I'm still terrified, to be entirely honest with you. I was watching the absolute unthinkable to me become reality, and I had literally no idea what to do, but I knew I had to do something. So I found some friends who decided we were going to start really small. We were going to write postcards to local officials, federal officials, to make sure that our voices were being heard in our government. And I started going to any political, progressive meeting I could find. It really didn't matter what it was. I spent time with See You Indivisible. I went to rallies. I really wanted to hear from activists in our community and thought leaders who could teach me how to be engaged and how to be an effective organizer in my community. And one of the places that I loved to spend time was the People's Agenda. And through working with the People's Agenda, I met some truly incredible people. And one of those is this woman right here. Her name is Michelle Jett. At the time, she was the primary coordinator for the People's Agenda. She was also Representative Carol Ammon's chief of staff. And for reasons passing understanding, she asked this random computer scientist if she wanted to be volunteer coordinator for a community organization, because that makes lots of sense. I said yes. And she tapped me into a passion I didn't even know I had, which was community voter engagement and voter education. So through Michelle, she really encouraged me to run for office. She encouraged me to run for something called precinct committee. And I said, what in the world is that? She said, don't worry, I'll tell you how it works. Go get 10 petition signatures and you'll be on the ballot. So I did, and I won in a landslide, seeing as I was unopposed. So then I was the precinct committee person for City of Champaign 34, whatever than the name of God that possibly meant. So I figured it out once I started doing the work. What you're really responsible for being on the precinct committee is voter engagement. So you knock a lot of doors. And you get mistaken very frequently for someone who wants to sell windows, which I incidentally don't care to do. And you get to talk to your voters, and you get to figure out where are they at? What are their passions? Do they know really, where, when, and who the candidates are when they go to vote? And Michelle got a lot of people on the precinct committee in 2018, and there were a lot of great people already there. I can't possibly talk about all of them, but I'll give a shout out to one. This is Ann Quackenbush, and she is also new, just like me, in 2018, and she has been an amazing partner as we figure out what in the world we're supposed to be doing. So one of the really cool things that you get to do when you're on the precinct committee, you get to know the candidates who are running in your community. This is Ramona Sullivan. She's here tonight. She's also incredibly awesome. And I got to walk in a lot of really hot and sticky and awesome parades with her. We did not quite get her over the line, but she'll be on your ballot next year when you go to vote. And there are 14 circuit judges. One of them is a woman, so maybe we could use a few more. Contrast that with the Illinois General Assembly. There are 177 seats. 64 of them are held by women, so it's a little bit better. We're really lucky to have in the 103rd Representative Carol Ammons representing us and working really hard in Springfield. And this past year we had a lot of firsts. We had some first-time candidates in the 2018 election. These are 2 new members of the county board, Dr. Tanisha King-Taylor and Leah Taylor. Awesome ladies. There are only 4 Democratic women on the county board, and there are going to be some seats up next year, so I don't know, maybe somebody wants to run. Come talk to me if you do. We'd love to get you involved. Betsy Dirksen-Londrigan, she was a first. She gave Representative Rodney Davis a run for his money for the first time ever. She came within 3,000 votes, and when CNN called the race for her, I still am not over it. Like, that was the meanest thing they have ever done to me, and I'm never going to forgive them. We elected our first county executive last year, and that is Ms. Darlene Kleppel. She's also amazing. She walked most of the county, and I don't know how many pairs of shoes she went through, but it had to be like 1,000. So being on the precinct committee has also turned me into a political nerd in a way that I never appreciated I would be. And I discovered this, really internalized it, when I was chasing Susana Mendoza at a fundraiser because she was trying to leave and I hadn't met her yet. She very graciously explained to me that her title is Illinois Controller. It's not Comptroller. She doesn't care how it's spelled. It was the best correction I've ever received in my entire life. I will cherish it forever. Probably my favorite first is this nice lady right here, Juliana Stratton. She's serving as the Illinois Lieutenant Governor, and she is the first African-American woman to do that. I was shocked when I looked today. There has never been a female governor of Illinois. So speaking of positions that we should work on filling, there's another one if you're interested in running. And it's not just in Illinois that we had a lot of women having firsts recently. These are some ladies who have had some firsts in the U.S. House of Representatives. And I don't know about you, but the fact that AOC is not yet 30 makes me wonder, what in the name of God am I doing with my life? She will be 30 at the end of this year. So be involved, vote, be on the precinct committee. We vote on Tuesday, so today's Saturday, and then it will be Tuesday, so you should vote. Go to votechampaign.org, read the questionnaires, be informed, run for something, be involved. It's not that hard. If I can do it, literally anyone can, I promise.